Hello you, Nick here for the other 10%. I'm playing Islanders tonight. I'm starting simple for my first video with this really relaxing minimalist city builder. It's quite late at night here as well, so it's a good choice for me to chill out before bed, to relax my fevered mind. So, I'm going to start a new game. And this is the challenge mode of this game. Basically, this is a city builder that cuts through a lot of the more micromanaging elements of this sort of game. It's entirely about aesthetics, really, and proximity. There's no focus on logistics in this game, it's just all about proximity. So pretty standard controls. WASD to move around there. It's a little bit choppy when it comes to zooming in, but otherwise it's such a gorgeous looking game. It's really a simple aesthetic to it. Now, this is by the developers who made a game called Superflight, which is also really fun and similarly quite a casual game to play. That's all about gravity basically, and is very fast paced. This has a really similar look to it, but is much slower and very pretty. So I'm going to place a seaweed farm. I'm going to start with seaweed as my major crop. The music's so pretty, it does cut out quite regularly, but it's so cute. Okay, so the aim here is to place enough points to get your score up to this boundary here. This in this case, this 70 points level, at which point you unlock new resources, and it's as simple as that. As I said, there's no real logistic sense to how things work, or like how you're scored on this, how things work really. The only real logistics you're having to deal with is all about placement. If I open up a lumberjack pack, you'll see this. So it gives me another couple of seaweed fields, and you'll notice that depending on where I place those, if they're near the other seaweed fields, I get points for each of those. But if it's near this seaweed collector, this seaweed farmer, I'll get points for that. What I'm going to do, which seems probably a bit counterintuitive, is I'm going to put these over here. So that if I get another seaweed farm, you'll see why I'm doing that. The other cool thing about this that is counterintuitive if you've played lots of these games is it only matters what's near an item when you first place it. It doesn't really matter if you then end up contradicting stuff. So for example, if I put this lumberjack down here, you'll see that he scores 10 points because he's near all of those trees. And I'm going to place another lumberjack here. I can't place him too near the previous lumberjack because he gets a -6 penalty for that. They don't play very nice, lumberjacks, apparently. It's what you'd expect from them, probably. So, apparently very competitive, being a lumberjack. So I'm very careful and place that there. But then the sawmill benefits from the lumberjacks, not from the trees. So if I put that here, he's going to get 7 points for each of those. But it doesn't apparently matter that then he's taken out those trees, which is really an interesting choice, which took a bit of getting used to. So make sure there is beer for my people when they eventually do turn up. And it's so nice because you don't have to fidget too much when it comes to actually getting things to fit next to each other, which can be a bit of a boot. Like, it's a bit of a boon in the case of this game, because if it was too fidgety placing things, I actually with a lot of city building games, the finicky detail of exactly where you place things and how stuff fits together is kind of part of the fun, and you don't mind it being that fidgety. But in this game, the whole point is that it's quite quick to play, I think, and quite straightforward. So you wouldn't want too much of that sort of thing. So here, I've got another seaweed farm in this pack. And if I place it too near the other one, I get quite a deficit. But if instead I put it here, see, he gets quite a boost from all of those farms there. From all of those fields there, sorry. Okay. I'm going to place my brewery. See, the brewery benefits from the seaweed farms, so I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to place these fields for that one, or just around it here. So I'm still flinching from actually putting any houses here. This is kind of a problem with the way I play games. I love this sort of what I'm going to call loosely, like clustered together loosely, and call them God games, even though I'm sure there's a very specific usage of that term in gaming circles, and I'm probably using it wrong. But yeah, I love God games, but I'm not very good at them, is the thing. And I have a tendency to get a bit bogged down in what my plans are and overextend based on those plans, and this cuts through all of my worst instincts as a God gamer. It's impermanent, so a lot of my my anxiety-based play around building it perfect and not wasting anything and making sure I've got the perfect city or base or whatever that I'm trying to build, often at the expense of actually playing particularly well, it just cuts through all of that, because you can't really save it. It's procedurally generated, and certainly in this mode it rewards forward motion, and it's very intuitive. It doesn't really reward being super obsessive, although it's possible that, you know, it turns out I'm missing the point somehow about how the scoring works or something like that, and you'll probably see me play not very well because of that. But yeah, it's quite nice. It's a nice palate cleanser alongside all of the other much more complicated games I play, and I'm not very good at. So here's another seaweed farm. By the way, this is pretty much my whole... I don't really have a shtick or persona. This is pretty much my whole thing. I'm not a naturally enthusiastic person, I guess. So this is the whole brand, this sort of monotone, painfully self-aware thing. That's my thing. Hopefully that'll work for some people, but I appreciate it's not going to work for everyone. Right. Not really supposed to be that honest, are you? It's not a particularly good trait for... it means I'm really good at therapy, actually. I'm really good at situations where you're supposed to share an awful lot. Not so good at getting jobs, it turns out, but... That's... I won't burden you with that. It's a conversation for another day, probably. Right, let's see. That's a pretty ugly placement for that seaweed field, but yeah, I would never do that on a different game. That would be too much. That would set me scratching my my arms nervously, probably. Right. Where the best place for this is? Ah, there. So see, even though I've basically got rid of all of the trees that these guys, these woodcutters were cutting down, the sawmill still benefits from being there. It's very strange. Right. Let's put this shaman here. Oh, actually. What's it benefiting most from? Ooh, that's a nice spot for the shaman. He'll be moving any mountains with joy. It's a really old music reference. It doesn't really make any sense. Let's pretend I never said that. Right, okay, so how do these water plateaus work? That's probably the best place for that. Let's go for the city finally. Shaman doesn't like that. Wonder what happens if I go to the new island, actually. Let's go. The music's so relaxing, it's lovely. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to start from scratch. That was a bit silly. Seems like lots of potential for lumberjacks. Let's place these seaweed fields first. the nutritional value of seaweed actually is. Doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. Let's put him there. The other guy there. And let's place the sawmill here, because I might be able to put some more lumberjacks up here somewhere at some point. Let's see. Excellent. A lumberjack there. Yeah, maybe I'll just do what I can there, right? Okay. Sawmill. And I think, where's he getting his points from? Just from existing, just from the joy of existing. Right, okay. Okay, let's put him here. Excellent. More farms and another lumberjack. Now, is it worth placing another lumberjack here, even though he takes those big penalties? He still does better here than he would over here, doesn't he? Yeah, you see, that is one of those things that I just would not do in another game. So it is quite nice to play something that takes me out of my normal gameplay routines. Makes me slightly less neurotic. Yeah, let's put him up there. Gets a slight benefit from being there, doesn't he? So now we've got the mansions. Finally I'm getting some housing. It can be quite fun fitting these guys in around each other, actually. It's like there's a Tetris element to it, which is quite nice. And the rich people in their mansions, they get to live around the statue and the city centre, which, you know, seems a little bit elitist, to be honest. Doesn't really fit with my politics, but you do what you have to, don't you, for your civilization, for your people. Actually, I say that, but I am gonna force the rich people to rub shoulders with the oi polloi. Wait, to be honest, that might be a little bit less fun for the norms. I don't know. There are probably some benefits to living around rich people while not actually being rich yourself. I'm just not entirely sure what any of them might be, but... Ooh. That shaman's doing very nicely there. Let's put him... there. That's a high-scoring fountain. It's one of those things you never really expect to say. Right. Where can I get the best points for cramming this guy in? There you go. There. I wonder what happens if I go with a fisherman. So he gets another seaweed farm. Let's have another shaman. Let's see. So you can get 15 down there. Oh, 27 there. Let's go with that. That makes more sense. Quite like the idea of this little community hugging the cliffside here. It's a weirdly placed sawmill out in the middle of nowhere there. It's a pretty big house. That's interesting. Right, so... So the fishermen, you put right the way out here, where they can benefit from where they can benefit from the seaweed fields, but not be hurt by the seaweed farms. I wonder what the huts are. Are they just places where people live? No, no, not at all. No. I am not sure what the huts are. But they seem to benefit from city centres and from statues and from shamans, so... Oh dear. I think I might be in trouble. Yeah. Gonna have to go to the next island because I'm 2 points shy of 160, so let's go. Oh. Okay. This seems pretty messed up. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Ah, okay. Ooh. Those are really pleasing, those plateaus. I'm not sure what the point of them is, but... And I'm not sure about them cutting into the hillside there, but... I don't know. Ooh, cool. Okay. Look at those cute birds. Kind of want to follow them. No, that's just silly. Right. Well, are there any other trees anywhere? Well, there's some there, but... maybe that's my best bet. So the hops has to be on land, and it has to have grass. Ooh, but it can go on some of these plateaus because some of them have grass on them. Okay, it's useful to know. The mason has to be on brick. Okay. Okay. So running out of benefits to having lumberjacks over there, really. Let's put one over here. This is starting to get a little bit tight, actually. hoping I'll get another one of these that has grass on it soon, because there's not really a lot I can do. This island is a nightmare. So right. Feel there's probably something lacking in my technique here, but never mind, it's done now. Oh, okay, seaweed farm. Yeah, it's all getting a bit hairy. I don't know how the brewery guys are supposed to make it up to this hops field, but never mind. Probably overthinking it. I'll wait on that. Let's cram some of these guys on here. Yeah, why not? Let's put it over here. This city's already ridiculous, why not? No, that's a stretch too far, I think. Excuse me. Probably going to come to regret that, but yeah. Well, that's just weird. That's just a weird place to put a mill, isn't it? I kind of love it. Seaweed field. Okay. More mansions on the pier. So the huts are not going to go well there. I might leave that for now. It's a very weird place for a fisherman. That's where this game doesn't bear thinking too hard about, I think. think this is the end. Oh well. I think that's the best I've done so far, actually. I probably should have done more to link this area over here, the where the statue is, with all of my industry over here, but to be honest, I didn't notice the statue until a little bit too late to do that, so probably shouldn't have admitted that. But that was quite a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed that. There is a sandbox version of this game that I'll probably be visiting at some point in the near future. But I hope you enjoyed playing this game with me. Well, you didn't really play it, to be fair. Watching me play it. They're called Let's Plays, but really I'm the only one playing it. You're not playing it, but you know, it's a convention at this point, isn't it? It's quite difficult to change the names of things once it's settled in. You can go. I'm done. I'm done for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and pay attention to this channel. Keep an eye on it. Maybe subscribe to it if that's what you want to do to see any future videos. I might come back to Islanders, actually. I do want to play the sandbox version of it, but you can probably expect to see some Oxygen Not Included from me, some Surviving Mars. I might even go back to RimWorld at some point. And I'm hilariously bad at all of those games, so hopefully that'll be worth a watch for you. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye bye.